Hello, Weedy drinkers. Coming at you live here in Austin, Texas at like 8:30 in the morning because I'm very hungover. Because unbeknownst to me, I decided that I was going to go out last night and try to drink a gallon of vodka. So down here on 6th Street, I'm going to talk about this part of my website that I've done very little to promote, which is where I go to other cities and talk about my favorite bars. And I just got back from Nashville, which was kind of awesome, actually. I'd always heard it was a cool city, and that it's very like Austin and all this kind of stuff. Like Seattle is very like Austin, like Asheville is very like Austin. And of course, you go to all three of those cities and they're not like Austin. There's similarities. There's probably similarities between the moon and Austin, Anyway, 6th Street, as you can probably see behind me, or maybe can see behind me, is extremely boarded up. Not extremely, but still boarded up, although some of it's coming down. The latest news is that the governor is deciding to leave it up to the mayors or the judges of these counties, and Austin's in Travis County. And so the Travis County judge who's in charge of deciding whether or not to reopen the bars apparently hasn't moved on that as of today. So, these people flying by me on these scooters. I don't know if you guys have traveled lately, but, according to this buddy of mine, JG is what I will call him, service has really slipped because the service industry people are like, we have to keep our distance and you have to keep your distance, and I don't have to do as much for you, but I'm gonna get paid exactly the same. And it's felt, service industry people, by your customers. And I'm not dogging on service industry people, because if you've never done that job, it has got to be one of the tougher jobs that's out there, freaking period, So it's just funny, because it's like, under normal no COVID times, they have to do a better job of hiding their disdain, and now it's like there's more peeking behind the curtain for sure. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm adding to this list of cities where I find these dive bars, right? Like the best places to go. And I've uncovered different ways. Believe it or not, there's a lot of failure that goes into it, where you just go to these bars that they point you into the direction of, and then you get there and they suck. It's kind of like when you come to Austin and everyone tells you to go to this horrible barbecue place. Like you ask 10 different people for 10 barbecue recommendations and all of them suck, and then you go away from it saying, why is Texas so proud of its barbecue? Anyway, that's what happened to me, until I found these hidden gems in Austin that have like the best barbecue, the shortest lines, they're priced competitively with or they're cheaper in some cases, cheaper than where they send the tourists or the people who've just moved here, And it's so funny to me. Like one time I asked this hotel concierge, I'm like, why do y'all send, people who move here, or visiting, I should say, to these shitty places? And one of them said to me very frankly, they're like, well, I'm a concierge, Adam, so I can't live like downtown in a condo or whatever. I don't live around here. I don't have enough money to live around here. So I don't really know where to send people. So I try to send them to the most innocuous. This is basically what she was saying. She didn't use the word innocuous, but she's like the safest places, because she's heard that 6th Street was dangerous, or whatever. And so she'll send them to somewhere that's innocuous, and basically while that person will go there and have a very vanilla time, and maybe a great time, I don't know, but they certainly won't see anything that's authentic about Austin, right? Well, this happens in other cities too. So I go to Nashville, and or any city that I might go to, and they send you to some shitty place. So I've got this string of cities. If you click on the home button on your mobile phone, or if you go to, it'll pop up on the desktop version. It's called On the Road. I'm gonna learn where the camera is on this phone so I can look directly into it at some point in my filming career. And so I'm about to put up Nashville. It will be put up by the time you watch this video. Oh, so I find these bars, right? The ones you want to go to, where you can experience where people who live there like to go and drink, you know, that are often less expensive and they're never recommended, right? And so I'll find, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 of these places if I'm very lucky, and I'll pick 2 of them and I'll do like a paragraph write-up, nothing really long, just some short thing about them. Nashville is an interesting place, man. Like, they told me, okay, that, and I'd heard these stories before. They're like, it's the setting, and I'm talking now about their music. Like, they're like, I was told, they're like, Adam, you know, you can go to a coffee shop in Nashville and hear somebody who's like James Taylor, like as good as James Taylor, like incredible, you know? But until you experience this, you don't really know what they're talking about. Like when I was in Nashville, it happened happenstance, man. I'm looking for these bars and I walk into this freaking awesome place. Actually, it sucks because the front of it's just all touristed out. And then but if you go up to the second floor of the bar where nobody seemed to walk back there, there's another band playing and there's nobody hanging out up there but like a few people and like a bartender who's been working there for 20 years, you know? Anyway, this girl gets up there and starts to sing. Her name is Ren. I would love to give her some kind of more shout out. I've even reached out to the bar later on to find out if I could find her name and they haven't responded to me. Anyway, she gets up there and I hear the opening strains of Me and Bobby McGee start to play, right? The Janis Joplin song. And right there, you know that that person is gonna struggle through that song because it's Janis Joplin. You're not gonna cover Janis Joplin, sorry. It's like, how many times do you walk into a cover bar and you hear, oh, well, it's a Jimi Hendrix cover band tonight, you know? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, I'm gonna listen to this girl, you know, or young lady, whatever you want to call her, in her 20s, and she's gonna get up there and try to do Janis. That's cool. I'm gonna drink my beer. I'm having fun. I've never heard anybody try to sing Janis before anyway. And she slays. She absolutely gets up there and kills, you know? And I'm like, what is going on, you know? And then even in the airport, like if you go in the airport, you hear this in Nashville, you hear some guy like is he covering Roy Orbison? Like in the Roy Orbison style? Like, is he hitting those notes? I mean, he may not have 4 or 5 octaves in his voice, or he might, I don't know. Roy Orbison was a freak. I mean, what did Elvis called him the greatest singer on planet Earth, you know? And so it's just kind of like you run into that in Nashville. And so I'm gonna put these bars on my website and I'm gonna write up this short review and then I'm gonna publish it. And then you'll see all these other cities that are on there too. Minneapolis and, you know, it's just, New York is on there, not the city of New York, but let's see, where are some other places? Like, I don't know, go to On the Road, that's the name of the segment. And then if you're ever traveling through any of these towns and you want to see like a really cool bar that you're not being told to go to by someone who doesn't live in the area, then check it out. Anyway, I'm gonna get rip-roaring drunk again today, which I'm really excited about. Sorry. And I'm gonna, what else am I gonna do? I'm gonna eat some really good food because I know where to go. And I'm anxiously awaiting for them to reopen the bars, man. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna follow that and I'm gonna continue to send you guys updates. And if you go on the website, I always hated website people because they do this, but now I find myself doing it. And you subscribe, if you put in your email address, which costs absolutely nothing to do, then I'll send you, so sometimes I email my subscriber stuff that I don't put on Instagram or that I don't that I don't put on other social media stuff, because that even has a Facebook page and things. But if it's really important, what I'll do is I'll send out an email. That way I'm not just irritating the shit out of everybody who puts their email address in there and they want to find out cool stuff to do. Have a great rest of your day. I hope you're sleeping, which is what I should be doing. However, my body is absolutely it needs it so badly, it wants it so badly, and it will not have it today. Have a great one.